The 60-meter dash at the USA Indoor Championships are officially over, and Ronnie Baker is our brand new national champion. But to be real with you, that was to be expected. He is not just an Olympian from 2021. He is the third fastest man to ever run the 60-meter dash in history on the clock. Beyond that, he's the fastest American man this year on the clock, and he's consistent, because he's been dominating the pro circuit, winning in every race that he enters. But if you add in this one detail, that Olympian and world champion Trayvon Bromell had to pull out of the field due to injury, the only thing that was to be expected was Ronnie Baker's victory. But Team USA is supposed to get 2 spots for the World Indoor Meet in the 60-meter dash. That means that the real race was actually for second place. And Coby Hilton is the man who got that spot. That makes him one of the fastest men in America. And as a result, he will be wearing the red, white, and blue over in China, competing against the rest of the world. And to be real with you, his second place finish has been a long time coming, because Coby Hilton has been one of America's fastest men for quite some time now. The only problem is that most people didn't really notice. And I'm not just talking about the fans, I'm talking about the sponsors. This season, he's technically competing for Tracksmith, which is an apparel brand, but nowhere near the same as Nike or Adidas. And before that recent development in all of the years prior, Coby Hilton would show up to a USA Championship meet, representing himself as unattached. That means he'd had no apparel sponsor at all. Unfortunately, unattached athletes are a very normal thing in pro track and field. They're basically pros who don't have a contract at all, so they foot the bill for everything that they're going to do. Wherever they're going to compete, how do they get there, and hopefully you win some prize money, but normally there's not much on the table. And in that final field behind Ronnie Baker and Coby Hilton were also 4 more unattached athletes, not including the college kids who showed up to the meet and made it to the final as well. What makes Coby Hilton special now is not just the fact that he's an unattached athlete who keeps showing up to the USA Championship because he's fast enough to get there. It's the fact that he kept on coming back and then clawed his way all the way to the top of the leaderboard. And because of that, will now be representing Team USA. Although all the evidence we have to go off of continues to tell us he was never really supposed to be this fast to begin with. And although he may not agree with it, clearly everybody else in the machine did, which is why he wasn't highly recruited out of high school and didn't get a sponsor for a very long time. And even now, I'm pretty sure if he got a call from a big name company, he would probably pick up the phone. So allow me to recap the journey that eventually ended up with Coby Hilton making his way onto Team USA. Because every single stop along the train, from the start of his high school career up until now, is really not all that normal, at least for the athletes who put on the red, white, and blue and represent at the Worlds every year. Because his success is even more proof that the lanes on the track themselves do not discriminate. Even if to some degree, the sponsors and everybody else in the track and field machine might have their own ideas. But if you're new here, I want to say thank you for even making it this far into the video. And I'm Coach Rob, the founder of SCArecruiting.com, where I rank the best track and field recruits across the entire nation. And if anything that I say actually connects with you, it is always greatly appreciated if you would please like and subscribe. But if I don't, just let me know in the comment section, because I try to read them all. Coming out of high school, Coby Hilton likely would have rated as a high 2-star recruit on SCArecruiting.com. And to put it in perspective, 2-star recruits can make it into D1, but for the most part, big name schools have no interest in putting you on their roster. And he made his way to South Dakota State University, which competes in the Summit League, which nobody really pays attention to in Division I track and field. And he didn't dominate immediately once he got there either, but he clawed his way up to the front. So by his sophomore year, he was looking pretty competitive. Junior year and senior year, he was basically sweeping the sprints, indoors and outdoors, in the 60, the 100, and the 200. Simply put, by that point in his career, you couldn't win anything in the Summit League Conference without going through him. As fast as he was, he never actually qualified for the NCAA Indoor or Outdoor Championships. Yes, he ran at the regional meet, but that's just the regional, which is really just a qualifier for the national. And when his college career was over, nobody really would have blamed him if he chose to hang up his spikes for good. But that's not what he chose to do. So Coby Hilton kept competing and running unattached, and did that for a period of time. If you go all the way back to 2022, he was at the USA Indoor Championships, in the final for the 60-meter dash. The only way he pulls that off is he had to start running faster, even than what he was putting down in a college uniform, which actually doesn't happen all that often. And then he came back in 2023 and made the final again. Remember, he's still doing this as an unattached athlete. In 2024, he was arguably having the best indoor season of his career, but at the USA Indoor Championships, he didn't quite make the final. Remember, it probably wouldn't have mattered that much because this is the year where Christian Coleman and Noah Lyles took the only 2 spots to go over the World Indoors anyway. And then he showed up to the Olympic trials in the 100. By this point, he was finally running under Tracksmith. He made the 100-meter semi-final. And maybe you noticed him, but if you did, I'm pretty sure that was just for a moment. But as far as I can tell, Coby Hilton's one of the hardest working men in track and field. And I'm saying that for a reason, because he goes out there and he runs a whole bunch of races on the circuit. I'm talking indoors and outdoors. That's really been the situation over the past few years. And one of those races was earlier this season in Belgrade, where American Ronnie Baker got the victory. So coming to the USA Indoor meet and running in the final, losing to Ronnie Baker, like I said, was not all that much of a shock. But nobody knew who was going to get second amongst whoever was left in that field. But I am not surprised anymore that Coby Hilton pulled it out. His second place finish and the spot on Team USA that comes along with it for the World Indoor meet is really just validation of what we should have already figured out by now, that Coby Hilton is legit. In fact, he has been legitimate for a while now. He's one of America's fastest men, which is why he was at the Olympic trials in 2024. And interestingly enough, a lot of the world's best sprinters already know his name. Remember, he competes on the pro circuit and travels overseas in order to do it. The only thing he hasn't done yet is wear the red, white, and blue during a major world championship of any kind, indoors or outdoors. And that is about to change. So no, I have no idea what's going to happen at the World Indoor meet. Maybe he'll make the final, maybe he'll even get a medal. But that is besides the point. But the movie script has already been written. Coby Hilton is one of America's fastest men. And now he has validated it for the entire world to recognize, even if he was never really supposed to be this fast to begin with. In the sport of track and field, confidence is everything, because when you win, that is just the moment when everybody else finds out what you already knew to be true, that fast is a lifestyle. Get your Fast is a Lifestyle track and field gear at scarecruiting.com/shop, or use the link in the description below. It's a huge support to me and this channel, so I can continue to make you more content like this. And remember, it is always greatly appreciated if you would please like and subscribe.